It's 5:30. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Our first item is the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. The mission of the Marshall Public School District is to educate, support, and prepare all learners for success. Our next item is approval of the agenda.
So move.
Second?
A motion by Bill Swope and seconded by Sarah Brink to approve the agenda. Any additions or corrections? If not, I'll call for the vote. And the agenda is approved. Next item is our student recognition. This is something that we started in October, I think. This is our third month. The way we'll do this, when I call your name, if you could stand, and I will read your bio. And then at the very end, we're going to get a picture of all of you in front of that Marshall Public Schools tiger. So our first one is from Parkside, Max Rojas, nominated by Tiffany Lacey. Max is so excited to be the star writer this month. Max works hard every day, even when tasks are difficult. He perseveres and tries his very best. He is always kind and polite. His writing sample about his weekend shows that he knows how to use sequence words to organize his writing. He uses spacing correctly, which is tricky for first graders. He has capital letters at the beginning of his sentences and ending punctuation. Max has worked hard on letter formation, and his handwriting looks great. I'm so excited to see Max continue to grow as a writer this year. Keep up the great work, Max. Congratulations. Nice job. Our next one is from Southview, Abdi Ali.
I bet he's coming in right now.
Oh, there he is.
Thank you, Beth.
We're just getting started, Abdi, so if you could stand, I'm going to read a little bit about yourself. Abdi was nominated by Danielle Felsen. Abdi is kind and considerate to all his classmates and works well with others. He is quiet but has a sense of humor and academically is doing well in all subjects. He models Tiger Pride. Congratulations, Abdi. Stick around. We're going to take a picture of all you students at the end. From the middle school, Drake Liebfried, nominated by Nadine Weedman. The fifth grade team is nominating Drake Liebfried for the Tiger Spotlight. Drake is an amazing young man that shows the Tiger traits every single day. He is kind to all of his peers, extremely hardworking, has a can-do attitude, and is a wonderful role model for his classmates. He has been a joy to teach, and we look forward to all that he will accomplish. Congratulations, Drake. From the high school, Mackenzie Austin, nominated by Krista Biella. Mackenzie has gone above and beyond in her independent study, developing new graphics, organizing and mailing out the foundation Thanksgiving cards and yearly invoices, and writing many thank you cards to donors. Each project I give her, she takes to another level and exceeds my expectations for quality and turnaround time. She has taken initiative to reach out to Mr. Grunig to get needed information to complete tasks. She does everything with enthusiasm, and her attention to detail is excellent. She is a wonderful example of a student who is taking an opportunity to gain skills that will help her in her future career in marketing. Congratulations, Mackenzie. And our last honoree is from Maytech, and I don't think Isaiah is here. But I'll read his bio anyway. Isaiah Dutcher, nominated by Nick Klein. Isaiah is the most focused and on-task student that I have the pleasure to see twice a day. He is always working hard on everything that is handed out to him. Isaiah is also very engaged in the class and always contributes responses when the class is asked questions. He asks clarifying questions regularly as well. He is respectful, responsible, and great to everyone. Isaiah is kind and respectful to everyone in our school. He is focused and motivated to do well and graduate. He is helpful and is willing to help others when he sees someone in need. Thank you, Isaiah, for always treating others respectfully and for working hard at all you do. Congratulations, Isaiah.
So Mr. Coleman's going to come back to take a picture. So students, if you can meet
Great
him back
job,
to
you
sign.
guys.
And parents, if you want to go back there and take a picture, teachers, if you want a picture, you're welcome to go back there and take one as well.
What year is she? Where's she going next year?
Coffee? Congratulations. There you go. Good, you got it right.
Congratulations, guys. We're very proud of all of you. And parents and students, you're welcome to stay for the whole meeting. And teachers, you do have to stay. No. Otherwise, you're welcome to leave as well. Thank you for coming.
Danny, say hi to Mike. Good to see you.
Our next item is a public forum. Is there anybody from the public want to approach the board? Moving on, item number 7, our English language learners update. Welcome, Beth.
Up or down, wrong one. Oh, this side. There we go. Now we're ready. Okay, super. I am very excited to be here with you tonight and share a little update and information about the multilingual learners in our schools and what it looks like on a daily basis for each of our teachers. So if you're wondering who is or what is a multilingual learner, it's a student declared by the state of Minnesota. When parents fill out when they register for school, they have to fill out the Minnesota Home Language Questionnaire that has 5 questions on it, such as what is the first language your child learned, what does your child most interact in, what is spoken at home. And if any of those questions are English and another, that information then is sent to the EL team of that school. And then from there, they will give them what is called the WIDA screener. It screens the students and measures their English proficiency. And if they meet the requirements set by the state of Minnesota, then they will be enrolled in the EL program. So the interesting thing is when I asked Liana to poll how many languages are spoken at Marshall Public Schools, you can see there are actually 29 different languages spoken. So there are a lot of different languages. And you can see the number of courses, the number of students identified in campus that speak these languages. The other interesting thing is when we think of an EL student, you think of them speaking English and maybe Spanish or whatever it is, English or another language. Many of our students, they speak more than 2 languages, 3, 4 languages sometimes, or even more than that. So it's very interesting, the dynamics in our classroom and how many languages are actually spoken. You can see, of course, English is the top language spoken, but then Spanish, Korean, and Somali are the next top 3, and that is why we have our parent-student connectors that represent those 3 languages as well. So looking at where did we start the year? So this was way from the very first day of school, how many EL or multilingual learners did we have identified in the schools, and then the number of staff members. We usually try to keep the ratio to about 1 to 30 students approximately. It varies by the level, but you can see at each of the schools how many students that are identified and the number of staff members. At Parkside, We have 3 EL teachers, and you can see 1 EL success coach. She is someone that assists in the EL classroom, similar to like an academic success person here at the middle school, and helps specifically our multilingual learners. Southview, you can see 4.5. We don't have half a person. A person is part-time at Southview, so that's why it says 4.5. And then you can see everyone else as well in each of the schools. Now, this was the first day of school. It has changed throughout the school year. It changes daily. Students coming once in a while, students leave as well. But many of our neighboring districts that also have a large multilingual population see students come and go. They have a lot of migrant students. They might only be here for a certain amount of time, and then their families will leave. Like, for example, around this time of the year and go down south and work. A lot of times in agriculture, we don't see that often. We do have it a little bit, but not nearly as much. Once our families come, we really find that they do stay here, which is great. So let's take a look now at each of our schools. So Parkside, just this year, we've had 5 new students. So we think of Parkside as kindergarten and first grade students. They screened, though, 62 kindergarten students this year. So they have a big task ahead of them because all of our kindergarten students, of course, are new. They may have been here for pre-K, but for K-12, they are new. The other schools, the students have been identified the year before. Kindergarten, it's not the case. So they go through all of the kindergartners' registration, and then they will screen the students who potentially could receive services based on that home language questionnaire. And you can see 36 qualified based on the screener, the WIDA screener. This year they are trying something new at Parkside. They're calling it the EL pods. So in the past, they have grouped kids, and the teachers, the EL team would see students from, let's say, 3 different classes. That regular classroom could have kids coming and going the entire day. So it really disrupted their teaching, and it was just difficult to find time when they had all of their kids. So instead, they decided to flood the classes, and they pull planning teams, 2 to 3 teachers. They pull all of the EL kids at the same at the same time. So for 20 to 30 minutes, just kind of depends on the class. They will pull all of them. They will take them to the EL room, and then from there, they are able to split the kids and meet their needs exactly whatever their needs are. So one teacher might have a newcomer group, one teacher might have an advanced group, and everywhere, of course, in between. They're able to focus on their academic needs, of course, as well as build their English language skills. When I met with the Parkside team just last week, they said it's amazing to see how their kids are speaking and interacting more this year because it's a large group in their classroom at one time, very different than what we've ever done before, and we're seeing great gains with our kindergartner and first grade students this year. So it's really exciting to see how far they've come. So I have a little video, I forgot to mention that, a little video that I went and videoed every single school, like what are we doing? So you'll see a little video here.
First sound, do it. Excellent. Sound.
My favorite thing is snack. And that and toy. And play with my friend. And my favorite snack I'm playing my dog.
So you could see each of the groups and what they were doing in Realia. What that is they might have said the word bat. So then they were breaking the word apart, bat, and then they had a picture or a bat that they were holding in their hand. So being able to connect the word to whatever the object was. So great things going on at Parkside. If we move over to Southview, they have had a huge influx this year. You'll see Southview and the middle school both. 21 new students this year, and this was as of last week. I think we maybe even have a couple more this week. So they've seen a big influx, and it's just, we never know where our students, what grades they'll be in. Southview this year has had a large number of multilingual learners join their classes. They're, of course, focusing on differentiating instruction. All students are pulled for a language group where they are focusing really on developing those English language skills. And for those students that need additional support with their basic reading skills, they're pulled for a phonics group. So we look at the DIBELS screener and see what kids need an additional time to be pulled. So we'll see that in action here.
Me gusta hacer English and me gusta hacer math. I like to learn English and math. I work at math. I like answering questions.
Brief and daring.
This one?
No. I told you it was going to be hard.
This one?
Let me see. Yep, aggravate and annoy. Played without the
What's this first sound? What's the word? M. All right, ready? Very good. Our next word. Ooh, let's say that whole word again. I hear. What's the word?
So you could see the synonym, working on synonyms and antonyms. That was a language group. The one where the teacher was saying, I think it was play without the p or something like that. That was phonemic awareness. It's all based on the sounds. So some of our newcomers and our beginner students, and then at the very end, working on the phonics as well. So
I was just gonna ask, do we have the kids leveled?
yes, yep. Based on the DIBELS screener is what we're using. And of course, the access as well, the access assessment. At the middle school here, like I said, they've had a large number join their classes too. 25 new students just since the beginning of the year here at the middle school. Depending on their level, the newcomer and beginner. So newcomer students are students that come to us straight from their home country. They have never been in school in the United States before. Some of our students, some of them have schooling in their home country, some have none at all. It just depends on where they are moving from. Beginner students could potentially come straight from their home country as well. Oftentimes they come from somewhere in the United States. It could be another school in Minnesota. It just depends. Everybody's story is different. But if they are leveled at a newcomer or beginner, they're pulled for a full block, so about 78 minutes or 75 minutes, I think it is, at the middle school this year. They're receiving direct instruction in literacy skills and the English language development. We've started using Really Great Reading. This is our second year, I believe, with them, and that's what we're using at the elementary level. We've seen huge gains with our kids by using that with them because they need to learn how to read the English language just like our younger learners do as well. The intermediate and advanced kids, they are pulled for half a block and then receive their services specific to their needs. Some of our intermediate and advanced students, even though they may score at that level, they still might need basic skills in phonemic awareness and phonics, so they may be doing that. I know we have a class that focuses just on writing, so it's different depending on their needs as well. So let's take a look at the middle school.
Those kids pulled out intermediate advanced during the graduate class.
No, during a guided learning time.
Mi parte favorita de EL es cuando hacemos actividades. My favorite part of EL is when we do activities.
They all have short vowels, and some of them are just short vowel words you're going to read. So we're going to start here.
Imagine Learning, that was the first thing that was shown on the video with the kids in the headphones on. That is a program we use with our newcomers, some of our beginners here at the middle school, and we use it with some students at Southview. The cool part about that is, of course, they're learning the English language, but almost all of our languages, not Korean, but the rest of the languages, they will receive support in their home language, their native language, until they get far enough in the program, and then it automatically switches over to English. So it's a great program that we have some of our students using as well. And then if we go to the high school, they have 7 new students so far this year, and they shared with me, all of them are newcomers, some of them are low beginners. So many of them as well have never had any schooling in their home country. So they come to high school, a high school age student, and are brand new to school. So our high school teachers have their job cut out for them and do a great job with it. I often will get asked, how do you figure out where do you place them if they've never gone to school? We look at their birth date. That's always our starting point, is we look at our birth date, because we don't want someone who's 18 years old to be with second graders. You know, it does not make sense, of course. But so we put them in the grade corresponding to where they would be with their birthday. So what have we done different at the high school this year? They're similar, though, to the middle school, that our intermediate and advanced students will have half a block, so about 45 minutes at the high school. Our newcomer and beginner students have a full block, so a full 90 minutes of instruction. We bring over some of our, or I should say all of our students who are getting to the point where they'll age out. So sometimes at the high school, if students come to us at 17, 18 years old, the requirements are the exact same to graduate. They don't change. We have to meet the state of Minnesota requirements. Those students, unfortunately, will what we call age out before they meet graduation requirements. So we've really talked as a team, what can we do to prepare them for life after high school? We want them to be successful. So one of our teachers, Carrie Loft, brings a group of students over to our PAYS lab here in the middle school. And it's teaching those kids real life job skills. You'll see it in the video here. And it's a hands-on that spans over 40 different occupations. It is awesome to see them in that lab working. They've really differentiated the instructions. They can have language support in Spanish. That's one of the things that the PAYS lab offers. So it's great to see those kids and they're learning job skills. Tiger Cafe, Jeremy and I got to visit it, was that just last week, I think? We visited the Tiger Cafe at the high school. These are the things they're working on. It's basically a little coffee shop that some of our multilingual learners, these are more beginners, I would say. Some newcomers working in the Tiger Cafe, they're learning to work as a team. They need to deliver those products hot and fresh. So teachers can pre-order them and then they deliver them to the teachers. They need to measure, they need to follow a recipe. They're learning and meeting their teachers because a lot of these kids are new to our school. So meet the teachers And that working can be fun. And it was so fun to see them in their element. They were super nervous with us standing there watching them, but it was fun to see them in action. Coming up, I'm super excited as well. Third and fourth quarter, we have 2 of our EL teachers going to be team teaching. One in metal fabrication, so like introduction to welding really, and then automotive repair and maintenance. So these are the prerequisite classes for our advanced classes at CTI. We really want to try and get some of our kids into that. The hard part is those classes are so high in academic language and so, just very demanding in those type of things. So we feel that if we can co-teach those classes, our EL teachers will co-teach it with the regular classroom teachers, and our kids can be successful. And we have over 20 students registered for those classes. So it's exciting. And then we can get them hopefully to CTI after they complete one or both of these classes.
What age is aging out? 21?
Yes, unless they're identified as a SLIFE, students with limited, interrupted, formal English, I think is what it stands for. They get an extra year, so then it's 22 for some of our EL students.
Do they have to stay in it till age 21?
Some do, some do not. It just depends. We try to keep them as long as we can.
Depends on how close they are to graduating.
Yeah, yep. But really learning these life skills for life after high school. And it's fun to see how far they've come. So we'll take a look at it here.
Nice job. What were you scared about? Good. Now fill a cup half full with steamed milk. For the steamed milk, we just squeeze.
My favorite part is when I find the parts of here.
So with the Pays Lab, and the student is like, oh, he lit a light bulb, but he actually had to put it all together. It was just all these pieces, and he had to follow the steps and wire like the light bulb and make it light. And it was next, I think it was a motor. He had to get a motor to run. So the skills start pretty easy, and then they just build upon each other. So he was really nervous to plug it in, but it lit up. So he passed that station or that task.
Who does the taping for you?
Oh, I did that. I did the taping, but kudos to Amy Gillingham. She put all of it together. I sent her all of my little clips and she put it together, so I thank her for that. She did a phenomenal job. So yeah, lots of super exciting things, and I could go on and on. Like I shared at the admin meeting, I could go on and on what we do in the schools, but this is just a little glimpse. I wanted you to see inside what goes on daily with our multilingual learners in the classroom. So thank you. I don't know if anybody has any questions, but that is all I have.
Thank you, Beth.
Thanks, Beth.
Thank you, Beth.
Appreciate it.
Nice job.
Our next item is approval of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jeff and seconded by Sarah Runcie to approve the consent agenda. I'll call for the vote. Oh, I gotta click the button here. That is approved. Next item is approval of the bills for November, December. I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
A motion by myself and seconded by Jeff to approve the bills. Any further discussion?
Just a couple of things. Debt service fund, the payment was for a facilities maintenance bond. And then building construction fund, hopefully if everything goes well, we'll be wrapping up almost all of our projects, and the last bills will come through in January. Otherwise, everything's flowing.
Good. Thanks, Dion. I'll call for the vote. And that is approved. Next item is our financial treasurer's report. Any comments or?
Just each month, everything looks to be going the way that the budget looked like. We're working on the revised budget, and we'll have that ready for the January 2nd board meeting.
Very good. Thanks, Dion. Next item is our board reports or updates. Any updates from anyone?
Mr. Chair, the executive committee met on December 7th. We discussed the open position of the school board and the process of filling it. We reviewed the procedures on our winter closing for the weather and the coldness. We reviewed the new laws on the earned sick and safe times. We reviewed student needs and the shortage of PRS. Reviewed our annual timelines for our budget.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep.
All right. Anyone else? Okay, moving on. Administrator's report. Jeremy.
All right, thank you. A few things to share. Just a busy month, a lot of things going on in all the buildings. In my report, I just shared that last week we hosted the business after hours at the new CTI location. Really fun event celebrating that location, expanded programming for Marshall Public Schools. Taher Foods was generous enough to donate the food for the event, and we partnered with a chamber to host it as a business after hours. We had a great turnout, and I want to thank everyone that helped us celebrate that new learning location for the district. We were able to connect with not only students, families, and district staff, but also with business partners and leaders from the community. Our CTI partnerships and grants have brought in just over $170,000 to date of support for the career and technical education in our schools. So taking time at that event to thank those supporters and open the doors for the community to come in was really exciting. It was a fun evening. I thank all the board members. I think everyone was there that evening. Early childhood. In Little Cubs preschool, December is really busy. The classrooms are adorned with candy canes and gingerbread, and special classroom projects are taking place. I was over there today. It's always a fun spot to walk through. At the end of this week, they're going to have an all-school winter celebration in the gym that they're preparing for. Tiffany also shares that registration will open on December 20th for the winter and spring ECFE classes. Marshall Community Services brochure will have information for families that are interested in signing up for any of those ECFE pieces. At Parkside, she shares that November 13th through 17th, Parkside students celebrated Kindness Week. Each classroom encouraged students to show their best ways to be kind. They had some dress-up days, and the kids earned kindness tickets, so it was a fun event at Parkside. Southview, last month we talked about the third grade book battles. This month the fourth grade book battles are taking place, this week. That'll be assembly in the cafeteria for those fourth grade students. Just a fun way to get students to dive into books that otherwise they might not typically choose to read for themselves. And then a little bit of competition with it always makes it fun with kids. He also shares that each month this year we've had different SMSU athletic teams come over on a Friday and greet the students as they enter the school in the mornings. This month, they had the pleasure of having the SMSU baseball team visit. They were here on December 8th. So thank you to SMSU for the partnership and making our students feel welcome to school. It's the kids get pretty excited when they see those SMSU athletes at the doors in the mornings. Middle school shares they recently hosted some concerts that highlighted our students. The band performed on November 16th, and orchestra on November 21st. They did a great job performing and demonstrating the progress they've made this year. A lot of the middle school kids are just getting started to learn how to play those instruments, so it's fun to watch that progression throughout the year with those kids. She also shares a conservation crew that's a pretty recently formed student group. They have been busy this last month. Among other projects, the group got a generous donation of seeds from Baker Creed Seed Company, and they are expanding their pollinator garden that's back here near the solar panels. They planted milkweed seeds outside and will plant more seeds indoor early this spring to transplant. I don't know when they did this outside, but it's hard to believe in December we're talking about planting pollinator seeds outside. The high school On the 4th, they welcomed Sam Eaton to speak to our students regarding his battle with depression, anxiety, and suicidal ideation. Mr. Eaton spoke with students for about 60 minutes, in which he shared warning signs, ways to seek help, ways to help a friend, and his own personal journey. Sam is a former high school and elementary music teacher who is now traveling the country speaking to youth regarding his topics. That was a well-received presentation at the high school. Maytech shares that their student council spent time this month supporting Meals on Wheels and helping package food for the delivery team. Students enjoyed helping out with these community events and giving back to others. Student council is also working on a little celebration for this week. For students and staff, they're going to spend time connecting, playing games, and sharing hot chocolate. She also shares that the welding and automotive students from CTI, they took a field trip to Ridgewater College recently in Wilmer, where they learned about furthering their degrees in the field and what career opportunities are available. They got to see what some classes are like firsthand. So it was a good experience for that group of students. Activities, congratulations to Coach Terry Ballman. He was recently awarded District Coach of the Year, so congratulations, Terry. The AAA Award. Activities Leadership Committee selected Austin Dunn and Kennedy Drake to the High School League AAA Award for this year. The Academics, Arts, and Athletics Award, commonly known as AAA, honors high school seniors throughout the state who have a 3.0 or higher grade point average and who participate in league-sponsored athletic and fine arts activities. Both Kennedy and Austin are very deserving of the award, and both are leaders in the classroom and in their respective activities. These two will move on into the region to compete to be the nominee to the state. The Activities Leadership Committee also selected Allie Peterson and Josh Liebfried for the Excel Award. The Excel Award stands for Excellence in Community Education and Leadership. It's a unique recognition program designed exclusively for Minnesota high school juniors who are active in school activities, leaders in the community, and who demonstrate a strong commitment to community service. Both Josh and Allie start out with their involvement in MHS activities and community involvement, so congratulations to Josh and Allie. He shares that wrestling numbers are very strong for the wrestling program. With the growth in numbers, they are requested, and you just approved adding another assistant coaching position that will serve all participants, but focus primarily on 7th through 9th graders. In dance, the Tiger dance team recently hosted their hometown event. That was the night of our last board meeting. This event brought together dancers from both the Marshall Tiger dance team and Just for Kicks. It was a great event honoring dance in our community. So it was a good evening for dance. A lot of things and activities going on. For Beth's report, she shares the CEO students have opened their class business, Living the Dream. It is currently up and running. They're doing a great job kicking this program off. They've been doing this for about 2 weeks now with the class business. I encourage everyone to check them out on Facebook. It's Living the Dream CEO. Instagram, the same thing, Living the Dream CEO. You can see their products and order them online on their website. It's livingthedreamdesign.com. They're also hosting pop-up events around town. They were down at the Chamber last week. They've been at the high school. They have a basketball game I think they're going to be at coming up soon. Mainstay Cafe, all over town. They're doing little pop-up events selling these products. They have hoodies, t-shirts, hats, and reusable tote bags. So if you think I bought something last year, you may have, but this year it's different stuff. It's different design and different product, different class. It's a small but very powerful group, and they're doing a great job this year. It's really proud of that group of kids. Beth also shares that at Parkside Elementary about the EL students, and she shared that in her presentation, so I don't have to read that one to you. Special ed, this month Jackie highlights Southview Elementary special education staff. Team has a large number of new paraprofessionals this year, with 55% of them being veterans and 45 new to the role. It's wonderful that we have been able to hire these new staff positions, but it does result in some time spent onboarding. Everyone is really coming together at that site and is working as a team. The special ed teachers are providing support and training to ensure that paraprofessionals feel successful in the role, so that team is really doing well this year after a pretty big turnover. And then in Mary Kay's report, the final one, classroom teachers K through 12 are provided the option to apply for funds to support American Indian resources and instruction that align with one or more of the American Indian Plan goals. Materials can include literature books, maps, posters, AI art, or American Indian art, activities, speakers, etc. Each media center in the district is also being awarded a nominal amount from that grant to purchase some American Indian resources based off the committee's recommendations. So teachers are aware of that and are working on some things there. Dion.
Thanks. We're wrapping up our Marshall Public Schools United Way campaign Wednesday. We were at 75% when I did the report. We're at right around 87% of our goal. So hopefully we get close to hitting it, if not hitting it by Wednesday. I just put some numbers in for our P-card rebate. Carla does a great job of pushing our P-card. The more we use it, the the higher our rebate comes. So we try to use that instead of pushing out checks. Earn safe and sick time was mentioned before. It's the MOU's coming up. Lindsay, Kate, and I have been working on that. We've got emails ready to go out on Wednesday to all staff per law, but also to give the employees information. And then Lindsay and I worked on today getting the payroll system all set up. 650 employees. It's a task, but both Lindsay and Kate are definitely up for that. And then I think it was the last meeting was mentioned that the facilities committee met last month. And I just wanted to share that information that we shared with the facilities committee with the whole board. So you guys have that of the projects we've done, working on some of them for down the road, and then where our LTFM long-term facility maintenance budget is headed.
Thank you, Jeremy and Dion, for your reports. Next item is discussion items, the second review of policies 101 to 104. Any questions or comments on those? Next item is the first review of policies 201 to 203. Again, any questions or comments?
Like our other ones, right now, we're just kind of on the overall district operations ones. There's nothing major changed in any of these.
Okay. Moving on to our action items. Our first one is approval of the all earned sick and safe leave memorandum of understanding for all of our groups and individuals. I will need a motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Sarah Runcie and seconded by Bill. Any discussion?
I'll say thank you to Dion and the business office for their work on preparing this. There's a lot of hours into just getting their heads around the ESST, and they did a nice job coming up with a plan. And we got these MOUs with each of the groups prepared so we're compliant with the new laws as of January 1st.
I think your back office people do a great job, Dion,
Got a good team.
with a smile on their face. I mean, I observe that. It's just great.
Any further discussion? If not, I'll call for the vote. And those MOUs are approved. Our next action item is the certification for the 2023 payable 24 levy to be used for the 24-25 school year.
So move. Second.
A motion by Bill and seconded by Jeff to approve this. Any further discussion?
Nope, just part of the process. After we had presented the truth taxation, numbers remain the same. And just need the board's approval on that so we can certify the levy.
Thanks, Dean.
Nice to see we only have to increase the levy by 0.48%.
Decrease.
Decrease.
Huh?
Decrease. We're
Increase, I mean.
No, we're decrease.
Decrease. I mean, that's good press.
Yes. I'll call for the vote. That is approved. Next action item is approval to change the work session schedule on February 5th to January 16th, beginning at 4:30.
So moved.
Second.
So this one is just as we're working on our budget plan for the year, we'd like to move that work session up one meeting so we can get some input from the school board as we're working through our budget process.
You had a finance committee at the same time, I think.
Yeah, there is one. We'd have to change
We'll
that.
have to
Work on that.
we'll work on that. Yep.
It'll work.
Yep. We'll figure it
I'll
out.
make it work. Okay, there's a motion on the floor by Jeff and a seconded by Sarah Brink to approve this meeting change. Any further discussion? I'll call for the vote. And that is approved. Our next action item is to the school board move to a closed session. Should I read all that? Okay. The school board will hold a special meeting that will be closed to the public pursuant to Minnesota statute section 13D.05. All or a portion of the meeting will be closed for discussion of litigation strategy protected by the attorney-client privilege as permitted by Minnesota Statute Section 13D.05, Subdivision 3B. The specific subjects to be discussed pursuant to Minnesota Statute 13D.01, Subdivision 3, are the legal positions and strategy in the matter captioned Mary Kay Thomas versus Marshall Middle Schools et al. I'll need a motion.
So move. Second.
Any discussion? Motion on the floor by Jeff and seconded by Sarah Runcie to close the meeting. I will call for the vote. That is approved.
Okay.